Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to have a top 5 list. I love top 5 lists, and I think clients like them too because they're clean, they're discreet, understandable, and hopefully helpful. Again, my name is Charles Raether. I'm the managing partner at AmLaw Group, where we focus on business immigration to the U.S., whether it's an E-2, EB-5, NIW, EB-1A. If you've got money, you've got a business, or you've got talent, come see us, and we can help you make your transition to the U.S. So today I wanted to talk about top 5 business ideas for an E-2 visa. We love E-2s. I love EB-5s, but if you don't have 800,000, E-2 is a close second place because it requires maybe only about $100,000 investment, very flexible, no job creation requirements. So in many ways, E-2s are our go-to visa as well, especially for people that aren't looking for a green card necessarily. So what do you need for an E-2? And more importantly, what are the top 5 business ideas? Usually people start in reverse order. They kind of build up the suspense. They start with number 5 and go to number 1. I'm going to do the opposite just because it's easy for me to think of the most appealing ideas. And as we go down that list, we're going to kind of start getting lower and lower in terms of priority. So number 1, and I'm not saying necessarily this is for you, and I'm not saying necessarily this is what I'm promoting. I'm just saying based on our experience, our 15 years of doing this, what have been the most popular businesses that have generally been the most productive or profitable for our clients, both from a financial perspective and immigration perspective. I would have to say number 1 is a trucking business. And I know a lot of you guys aren't truckers, you don't want to sit behind a truck for 10 hours a day, etc. And that's totally fine, although you're not necessarily required to drive them. If you're just the owner, manager, executive, overseeing the other drivers, that's as good of an option as any. But I would just say in terms of popularity and compatibility with the E-2, I would say trucking business is very appealing. Low barriers to entry. You can buy as little as 1 truck. We've had clients who are just buying maybe 1 pickup and a trailer. A lot of people buy semi trucks, lease a trailer as well. So there's a lot of options that have worked for our clients in the past. Depending on the market, it could be quite profitable or maybe not so profitable. But in terms of the structure, what's required, it's a very good visa for E-2s from my experience. What would I say is number 2? I would say probably, obviously, I would say the vast majority of our E-2 clients are in the service sector. I can't think of any E-2 clients that were involved in manufacturing or production of any sort. In part because if it's any kind of manufacturing or production, the investment level is quite a bit higher. And as a result, clients could likely qualify for, say, for example, a green card through an EB-1C. So they don't necessarily bother with doing the E-2 if they could just go right ahead for a green card application. So the services tend to be more popular because they're less expensive, lower barriers to entry. And I would have to say, in large part, most of our clients doing the E-2 after the trucking business are engaged in whatever they engaged in back in their home country. That is probably the most common number 2. And maybe you're going to say, okay, this is a cop-out. I'm not really giving you any kind of suggestion. But it's true, guys. People, they know a business. They've been working on something back in their home country. They know how to do this. They do it well. And chances are it's probably applicable or of appeal here in the U.S. And so for that reason, they might want to do the E-2 using whatever they're good at. So what could that be? Gosh, we have everybody from marketing companies, digital marketing, accounting, what else? Recruiting services, real estate advisory type services and stuff like that. So the gamma is huge. So there's a lot of options, and in large part, it really is based on what you do back in your home country. Number 3, what would I say is number 3? I would say something related to food, either some kind of cafe, small restaurant, something like that. I would say that's number 3. Running a restaurant, for anybody who's done it, knows it's not an easy job. It's tough. It's a lot of work. It's labor intensive. But nonetheless, I would say that's nonetheless kind of a popular way to do an E-2 visa as well. Number 4, clients may be looking at different franchises. And so again, there's a lot of franchises that are out there. Again, they tend to be service related just based on the investment levels that are needed under an E-2, but increasingly seen franchises. And number 5, I would say this is kind of the catch-all, property management. That's we have an increasing number of clients interested in that. They might have engaged in that back home, or they just see opportunities to do it here. Doesn't require a huge capital injection, right? So you're not buying the properties themselves, right? You're managing them for other people. And I think the biggest challenge sometimes is maybe getting, that initial client base, because you can't just start a property management company by having 1 or 2 properties that you're managing, or or having no clients. I mean, they want to see you. I would say generally want to see that this is just not some pie in the sky type thing, that you've really got some properties you're going to be able to manage. You might own them, or they could be owned by third parties. And if you're at all interested, we do have a franchise that we work with where it's a passive structure. Very little time is required from the investor, maybe 1 or 2 hours a month, where it's property management. They help organize the clients, they get the clients, you make the investments into acquiring the rental contracts. And it's a structure that kind of works well for a lot of our clients. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to reach out to us about that as well. So hopefully this gives you an idea. Again, the good thing about E2 is there's so many options available that you have more flexibility than with EB5, EB1C, and other things that, the sky's the limit, as they say. So if you're interested in E2, want to discuss that further, please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to guide you further.